You know SQL, you know Excel, maybe you know Power BI and Python, but you are still getting rejected. You sit in the interview, they ask you a question, you panic and your mind goes blank. If that sounds like you, then this is for you. A lot of candidates think that interviews are only about Excel, SQL, Power BI and Python, but that's only one part of it. Companies also judge your communication, confidence, business understanding, project depth, and how you think under pressure. So that's why two candidates with similar skills can get a very different result. Stay tuned till the end. I'll help you get interview ready. Hey everyone, welcome to Analytics Everywhere. I am Shubhrajit Basu. I have close to 10 years of experience into data analytics. I have given 100 plus interviews in my life. I have cleared almost close to 20-25 interviews. I have also taken a lot of interviews. So I know what it takes to clear an interview, and in this video I'm going to help you. So get ready with that. Point 1, before the interview starts. Let's say if you are interviewing for an e-commerce company and if you don't know metrics like conversion rate, repeat purchase, AOV, customer retention, then you are already far behind. What you should do before an interview? So first, you should research the company, understand the job description properly, revise your SQL, Power BI, Excel or whatever skills you have mentioned on your resume. Prepare 2 or 3 projects properly. Keep example ready for your strength, weakness and challenges. Learn key business metrics related to the company. It's very important. What type of interviews you are giving, the type of companies you are interviewing for. And also another, you should again read the job descriptions properly. Point 2, the first question, tell me about yourself. Most candidate either speaks for 20 seconds or 5 minutes. Both are wrong. Your answer should be between 60 to 90 seconds. Now follow a very simple structure: past, present and future. What you should do, what you should tell, start with your background, then talk about your current skills, project or experience. Okay, then explain what kind of opportunities you are looking for. And here is the trick. Prepare this segment, tell me about yourself. Practice it at least more than 50 times so that you don't have to remember when you are sitting in the interview. Point number 3, the technical round. In the technical round, interviewers care more about why than definition. Here is what you should practice. Okay, SQL concept. Okay, that matter than memorize the question. Second, explain why you use something. Third, be ready with the follow-up questions. Fourth, practice the business case based scenarios. Understand the dashboard storytelling. Explain what business problem your dashboard solve. Okay, for example, let's say interviewer will not ask you that, hey, tell me what is the difference between left join or inner join. Okay, now they will ask you something like, why would you use a left join in a customer and order table? Now your answer should be that because you are going to use a left join, but because you need all the customers, even the customer who does not place any order in that table. Okay, also even in the Power BI, if you build any dashboard, explain that why you built the dashboard, who actually are using your dashboard and what business problem it has solved. Point number 4, the follow-up questions trap. Now, interviewers rarely stop in the first question. The first question gets you entry. The second one actually tests your skills or the knowledge on the topic. So, for example, let's say if they ask you remove the duplicates and then you answer that. The second question would be that how to identify the duplicate. If you say the churn increase, they may ask you what would you check. So be prepared with your follow-up question. When you are preparing for the interview for any technical round, at least go beyond 5 or 6 follow-up questions from your any topics you are picking on, any skills you are giving on the resume. So prepare the answer after the answer always. The project discussions. Now, when I've taken the interviews, I've seen that people don't know how to explain the project, and this is one of the important factor in your interview. Now, how you should explain your projects? Your project should it should include the problem statement, the data sets, the tool used, analysis, findings, and recommendation. Also, you can say the kind of business impact it has. Now, for example, let's say in a churn project, you have used Power BI and Python. You do not not say I used a Python and Power BI and found a churn and that was high, right? This is a very wrong way to explain a project. Instead of that, you can say that the goal was to understand why customers were leaving. I used a telecom customer data, analyzed it using SQL and Python. I built a Power BI dashboard. I found that customer with month-to-month contracts had a high churn rate. Based on that, I suggest retentions, campaign and discounts for long-term plans. So, this is a way you can explain your project. Maybe you can add some percentage of impact if you have any, like this much of percentage is impacting, or the kind of end result if you have any, or the things you got it from your project. So you can do that. What to do when you don't know the answer, right? So at some point you will not know the answer. That is normal. Do not panic. Don't fake your knowledge. Instead of that, think out loud. Explain your logic. Even if your answer is not correct, if you can just explain your logic, that is completely fine, because interviewers like to see your thought process. So do that. Another problem I see in the interview are communication mistakes. Now, a lot of candidates don't know how to explain things properly. They speak too fast, they give a long answers, they use too much of jargons, and they forget the business impact, right? So use these techniques, very simple framework, which is situations, problem, actions, and the outcome. This makes your answer more structured. Now it's time for the HR rounds, right? You have cleared all your rounds and you finally in the HR rounds, right? So do not ignore the HR questions. Like for example, if they ask you that why should we hire you, don't just say that I'm hardworking, or just say I deserve this role or something like that. Okay, instead of that, you can answer like I have a technical skills of SQL, Power BI and Python. I also enjoy solving business problem, and I see that this role fits with my expertise and my knowledge, something like that. And for that, what you should do, you should prepare all set of HR's questions before the interview. Now if you want me to share a list of HR questions with answer, then please put a comment, say interview. I'll share you a link and with all HR question and answer which you can prepare before the interview. Now finally, this is very important, questions to ask. Now after the interview, don't say I don't have any questions, okay? Or when interviewer ask you that do you have any questions? Instead of that, you should ask questions. Now how you should ask your question? Here is a trick you can follow. If you are giving an technical interview, you can ask like what kind of tools they're using, or what is the opportunities they have for this role, or kind of day-to-day looks like for this role, kind of questions, right? But if you're giving a managerial round, or if you're giving an HR round, then ask your questions based on that. Something like what does a success look like in this role, or what projects I work on. So based on your interview type, choose your questions, but never skip the questions part. Always ask a question, even if you can ask a personal question like how do you like this company, or what is the best part of working with these organizations, kind of questions. So remember, a data analyst interview is not only about the technical skills, it's about the other factors we talked about. Okay, so if you prepare this properly, your chance of selections get much higher. And if you like this video, please do share with someone who is also preparing for the interviews. And if you would like to understand or know that how you can get more interview calls, you can check out my another video from the link. And also I run a WhatsApp community for data analyst where I share the jobs and my findings. You can check that out from here. The link would be on the description. And again, please do like, share and subscribe. It would be an encouragement for me. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.